You are on fifth slide, sir.
Now I'm third slide. No, with no image.
Okay. You are on fifth slide actually. Okay.
लिंक करो के दिन
Usha madam, are you there?
मैम जॉइनर्स नाही झाले
चालू करू? Hello. Snehal ma'am, please
Yes,
start.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Good morning, everyone.
Start.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to day 7 of our enriching 11 days online soft skill short-term course Imprint. I, Mrs. Nehal Rakhunde, an assistant professor of Dr. S.C. Gulhane, Prerna College of Commerce, Science and Arts, Nagpur, delighted to be host once again for this exciting online journey. This course is a combined venture of Manoharrao Kamdi Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, Seth Kesarimal Porwal College of Arts, Science and Commerce Kamptee, Dr. S.C. Gulhane Prerna College of Commerce, Science and Arts Nagpur, Mahatma Gandhi College Parseoni, Ravindranath Tagore College Dongargaon, and Orange City Institute of Management Nagpur. Dear students, focusing on essential soft skills, this short-term course will transform your personal and professional development. Before we move forward, I would like to take a moment to thank all 6 colleges for bringing together students from various backgrounds. Their dedication to holistic education has resulted in this course. Here, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, Professor Dr. Vinay Chauhan Sir, Professor Dr. Praveen Joshi Sir, Dr. Lokchand Jadhav Sir, Dr. Jan Gangarettiwar Sir, and Dr. Anil Sharma Sir. We extend our sincere gratitude for their generous and steadfast support in making this platform a reality. I would like to thank the coordinators of the course, Dr. Meenakshi Vastik Madam, Dr. Renuka Roy Madam, Pramod Gorde Sir, Assistant Professor Nasir Pathan Sir, and Dr. Rajni Kumar Madam for their tireless work and dedication for conducting this course. Dear students, we have journeyed through various aspects for personal and professional development over the past 6 days, equipping ourselves with valuable tools for success. Today, we delve into a skill that is often underestimated but absolutely crucial for our well being and effectiveness, and that is the art of saying no without guilt. In our fast paced lives, we are constantly bombarded with requests from colleagues, friends, family, and even ourselves. Saying yes might seem like the polite or easy option in the moment. However, consistently overcommitting can lead us to stress, burnout, or ultimately hinder out our ability to deliver our best in the area that truly matter. Today, we are going to explore how to navigate these situations with grace and confidence, learning to say no in a way that respects both our own boundaries and the other person, all while shedding that unnecessary baggage of guilt. Dear all, to guide us on this vital skill, we have with us today a truly insightful and experienced resource person, Professor Sudesh Bhavte sir. It is my privilege to introduce our today's resource person. Dr. Sudesh Bhavte has been working as an associate professor and head Department of English in Dr. Madhukarrao Vasnik PWS Arts, Commerce and Science College, Nagpur. He has presented many research papers in national and international seminars and conferences. Some of his research papers are published in conference volumes in national and international journals. Previously, he authored a book developing English competency through reading comprehension, a case study 2021, translated a couple of books and edited a couple of seminar volumes for the college. Sir also contributed a series of video tutorial on English literary criticism to college YouTube channel. He has special interest in literary anthropology, English language teaching, modern literary criticism, Indian writing in English, Dalit and Buddhist studies, etc. Dear students, we are absolutely thrilled to have such a dynamic personality to share his wisdom and practical strategies with us. Now, to begin the session, I virtually welcome you, sir, and
Thank
request you
you.
to
Thank
enlighten
you.
our students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, First of all, I take this opportunity to thank uh, Dr. Usha Sakure Madam, who contacted me and invited me personally to talk in this very important soft skill course online. And I'm glad to know that 6 colleges are coming together in the interest of student and they initiated such a novel course on soft skill short-term course for 11 days, uh, putting some 33-hour program for student. I'm closely associated with all the 6 colleges. I have always be under guidance of Usha Sakure Madam in terms of clique or Shakespeare Society. I am very close to Dr. Vinay Chavan sir from Kamptee. Pravin Joshi sir used to be our mentor in FCWE, and our college has close ties with Sindhu Mahavidyalaya when he was head of the Department of English and vice principal in Sindhu Mahavidyalaya. I'm quite connected with Dr. Lokchand Jadavji, principal of Mahatma Gandhi Arts Commerce uh, College, Parseoni, Jain, Jagreddiwas sir, Anil Sharma sir, and I'm pleased to know all these colleges are coming together, especially Department of English, for soft skill. See, around the year, all the colleges organizing different activity so that students orientation for different skills, employment skills, and career skills are there. And coincidentally, I'm here with one important talk, and that is on art of saying no without a guilt. I have gone through the list of topics which were given and offered to me, and instantly I choose this one because I see, saying no is a very difficult thing. I mean, you work in different sphere, you work in your colleges, you work in your different workplaces, you are around with your family member, friends, and many duties, many responsibilities, many things are there you are supposed to do, you are supposed to involve. And in that, you see, sometimes we lost in such a way that we ignore ourselves and we ignore our progress. We, pile up with burden of different engagements for other, and we do list for us. We ignore our health, and in this way, we develop many issues, many troublesome issues for us, and we invited anxiety. Sometimes we become very frustrated, we become agitated, and things are, repercussions of such pressures are there. So, in time, it is important to say no to something which is unwilling to you. Whenever you think that you are not willing, the thing which is not within your boundaries, you have to say no to it, or you should able to develop that ability to say no politely. Now you see, in the social sphere or in corporate sector, when you work, you have to be very careful about your behavior. You have to be very careful about your approach. You shouldn't offend others so that some different things are coming negatively to you. You know? So there is a danger there, possible danger there, if we opt no in certain crucial stages. So we need to understand as to where we stop ourselves. I'm trying to share the screen one more time, otherwise we'll go without full screen. Begin with my lecture. I would like to share a small fable from Isa.
Sir,
I'll try
sorry to
to.
interrupt you.
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Hi.
Sir, you are given a time from till 11:30, as you are
Sure.
aware of it. Yes?
Okay, okay. Please
Okay.
make me aware because
Yeah,
I will
sure.
be with full screen, है ना?
Sure.
So
Okay, sir.
please, because I'm not
Hmm.
having watch around me now.
Okay, sir, definitely. Okay,
Please,
I
thank
will
you.
interrupt you, sir. Okay, sir.
Sure, sure.
So please proceed, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'll begin with a fable from Isa. I'll try to modernize it. So, what is the story? Uh, one city mouse. I mean, he is living in urban scenario and he enjoy his urban life. And one day he happened to visit his family member in rural area in a village. And while he was visiting a rural family member, so rural member offered him the things available in rural area to eat, like roots, different fruits, different seasonal foods, all that. So while nibbling those fruits, the city mouse was always in his back memory how he was enjoying the cakes, the KFC food, and different bakery food like that. And he was with pride telling all those delicacies which were available in city. He was telling it to the village mouse, and then uh, at point of time, the city mouse invited him. You can go with me to the city to enjoy the life for some time. So the village mouse was a little bit confused whether to accept this offer or not. But then, just few minutes before, the city mouse had already uh, uh, sung the glory of city life, how we can eat different delicacies, moving around with different restaurants or different bakeries. Like so, the desire developed in the mind of a village mouse. So look at here, he wasn't able to resist the offer, and then he decided to go along with the city mouse to the city. They landed to the city, and then in the beginning they enter one bakery. And in bakery, there were various cakes and different breads and different buns are kept there, delicious, I mean, very mouth-watering aroma. So this village mouse is very tempted to eat that. The moment he come close to one cake and about to nibble it, he heard, or both of them heard, a very horrible scratch on the door. A very horrible noises were around, and they are very scared of the situation. And immediately they saw a big cat came inside and it was roaming around, a very fearsome one. And then there was no chance for these two to have food in the bakery, and they have to leave that place in hideout or to leave that place so that they can be safe from that cat. Then they tried another, I mean, restaurants, a kind of a KFC restaurant. They and different chicken and different such veg, non-veg delicacies were there, and they wanted to eat that. And you see, the moment they went inside where things are kept, so there very immediately they learned that the things are also there to trap them. There are constantly a guard, or there are constantly, I mean, servants are there guarding such infiltration by rat-like or mouse-like animals. And in this way, you see, the village mouse who was tempted to see and enjoy the city life, he was moving around without having a peace, without having a peaceful morsel for himself and his friend. And after a day long journey, having empty stomach, and everywhere they reach a scary situation where they have to save themselves, run away from the situation to the shelter. So in this way, then he realized that his village life was good, it was safe, it was peaceful. He could have his meal at time, he could moving around peacefully and happily, but the city life is not for himself. So in this way, you see that one saying no invited him difficulties in a life. So had he been able to say no, and had he been able to pacify himself, he wasn't, I mean, satisfied with his life. Is that so? No, he was satisfied. But temptations were there. He was having a fulfilling life, but he was having temptation to go to city, and he invited troubles for himself. So this is a small, I mean, fable from Aesop's fable collection, and we can understand from this small fable that how, I mean, saying no is important. I mean, recognizing situation is very important, where you can use your, I mean, ability to say no and resist yourself. So you see that this no is really difficult, because we are trained to help each other. We are trained to, I mean, move around with each and everyone. In society, in school and colleges, we are told that we need to help each other. At the same time, we develop, I mean, some habit of enjoyment, of participating in different activities, and we develop this habit of saying no. I mean, no to no. We always say yes. So whenever something is asked to you and you say yes, if you are asked to do some work, you say yes. You are asked to go somewhere and you say yes. You are asked to, I mean, do some, I mean, extra work which is not due to you, and you say yes. So in this way, there are yeses are many around you, and you are unable to, I mean, say no to the situation. And in this way, you lost in this yeses in such a way that you forget to say no. Now, when we look at the situation as to why we are afraid, why there is a fear, why we are unable to say no. I mean, you see that if you are a student, you are busy in your college from morning till noon. Then you have a little time for yourself to refresh with food. Then again, you have to do some study work. If you have some career coaching, I mean some competitive exam coaching. You go to that place and busy there for a couple of hours or 3 hours, and then you come back again. You have demand to go back to your work and studies for preparing your exams, preparing some competitive exams. So in this way that you are yourself busy, and you don't have much, space for any other thing. In spite of that, there is a burden of some family responsibility. You have to go out for vegetables. You have to go with some family function. You have to assist your, sibling. You have to assist your relatives. You have to assist your neighbors. Sometimes you are busy with your friend, and in this way, we are, lost the ability to say no. There is a subtle fear. There is a subtle, issue with the idea of saying no. So why this fear is there? This is what that point we need to understand. Why we are afraid to say no? Why there is a fear to say no? So if there is any disappointment or disappointing someone, so if you say no to your parent and they would say that you are not following the etiquettes, or you lost manner, you are saying no to your parents, or if there is any insecurity like we are losing something, if you say no to your friend, so if your friend will gone away from you forever, is that the case? Or if you say no to something, someone, and you are supposed to take something, so if you are losing it for, so these are the insecurities, these are the fears there. But if these insecurities are real, that is to recognize. That is we need to understand if all these fears are logical. So you see, people around us, sometimes some people are very self-confident, very assertive, and they are, such a personality that they can do anything of their will. But even sometimes we see these self-confident, the assertive persons also say yes to many offers unwillingly. They are also find this kind of a majburi condition under which they say yes. And in this way, even such a self-confident,
Hello, Sudesh sir.
yes, sir.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. You are still on the first slide.
Not
Uh,
moving?
no, sir. When you just move, please remind us on which slide you are. Yes. You are on fifth slide now, sir.
Yes. So
Yes.
I'll be operating individual slide then, right?
Yes, sir. Please do individual. Okay. Now you are on the fifth slide, sir. Okay. Yes. Okay, sir.
Okay. So you see, now I mean, and then also there are some person, those who are uh, pleasers, सब लोगों को खुश करना, है ना? So we always find it is important to please others, and these pleasers, they prioritize their needs and want of others above their own. So even if you are to do your study today, because you may have a test tomorrow, or in couple of weeks you are having your exam, or in a couple of weeks you are having some important competitive exam. But in spite of that, to please others, you accepted some offers, and you busy it there, or you engage there for some time, and in this way you miss out some important study sessions which hampers your own results. So in this way we see that when such thing happens recurrently, initially you don't realize that you are passing your time. Say very important and vital time you have killed, and when you realize, sometimes it is already delayed you come to such a realization when something has already lost from you. So in that case, some stress is piling upon you, or you become very unhappy, you become exhausted, and then I mean, then frustration leading to you, and then you find in trouble always. So if we always do pleasing kind of a thing to others, this may invite some difficulties to us, and you may land into trouble in some time. Now, this is what a crisis situation. I mean, when you say yes very unwillingly, you know that you're busy with your studies, you have very crucial exam, your bank PO exam or MPSC or UPSC, or if you are a working person working in the corporate sector, you have your own project work to do in a certain time span, and you are asked by your colleague or you're asked by someone, okay, and it is interrupting your own project work. You are, I mean, killing your lots of time. So this yes was very unwilling from your side. So if such yes is there, unwilling yes is there, it is a kind of a crisis to you. And this is certainly a kind of a disappointment to you, because at the end of the day you get nothing out of it. Because on one hand, you are not able to complete your task, you are not able to do your project. On the other hand, you have taken additional task, additional responsibility from your colleague, and that was also halfway. So in this way, both the things are unfulfilled. So you see that this is what the thing of overwork, highly stressed life. So if you are overworked, you are not able to, take out time from you. You are not free. You want to smile. You want to roam around. You want to stay quality. I mean, you want to spend quality time with your family members, but you are not able to do that because you have taken extra burden from the external. Sources. So in this way, this is what a crisis for you. And this crisis lead to some very difficult situation for you in your life. If ever you see that, if ever you fall into some other trouble, and if additionally this, unwilling burden of yes is there, these two troubles combine to, burn you out very completely, and you will not be able to come out, peacefully out of it for a longer time. So you see that when you accept yes many a times, then you're not giving time to yourself to train yourself for your career, for your studies. So in that case, you see that there is a chance of losing your self-esteem. Because if you say yes to everyone, so after some particular time, you lost your dignity. And others don't, treat you very seriously, don't take it seriously. They don't give you respect because you say yes to everything. Because you are ready with everyone and everything. You are the one who can be give a call to, and you'll be ready there. So in that way, you see that your dignity will be at the trial, and this is what the crisis issue. And if ever you lose your self-esteem, it will develop a depression and anxiety. You can see the corporate people how they are busy with their work. They have very longer, work time, and they have international projects to accomplish. They have multiple tasks to finish. And in that case, if they have invited some additional burden, so that may, develop depression and anxiety for them. Now, why sometimes we see that it is difficult to say no? Now, this is what a very million-dollar question. Is why we are unable to say no? Why most of the time we accept yes? So, Now there are some possible, I mean, issues around which we are not able to say no. So number one thing is that a kind of a desire to be accepted. So you want to be accepted in your peer. Now in your college, your college friends are going to some party, and you have your own prior works, but you see that if you don't join them, you feel that you will be losing your friends, or you will be losing your, I mean, image in your friend, and you force to accept that offer to go to some out. Then another thing is that we want others to like us. Now this is what always a kind of a compulsion to us. Like wherever you work, wherever you live, I mean, it is a compulsion like people should like you. I mean, you should stay with such a behavior like it is acceptable to all, and people must like you. You must be there, and everyone else said that he is a very good man or he is a very good woman. So this is what the image we want to create around us, and this is a kind of a situation where people are liking you, so you cannot say no to them if there is any offers given to you. Then, I mean, see, saying yes is very easy. Saying no is a matter of training, because you haven't experienced repercussion after saying no. If ever you experience repercussions, you know, if you had said no to your colleagues, so you might have seen results of it. How do they behave? Or if you said no to your colleagues in your workplace and you have experienced how no, I mean, influenced your further days. So in this way, experiencing repercussion of no's is important. And to train yourself how you behave even after having some negative, I mean, influences out of saying no. So training is important. You have to set boundaries. Now this is my boundary. I can accept offers with this time. I can accept some offers with this space. So in this way, if we lack setting boundaries, so in that case, you won't be able to say no. So setting boundaries is very important. Then sometimes we are having fear of relationship strain. Now you are busy with your work. You have already your work stress. But at the same time, you have your family ties, you have your friends ties, you have your family friends, and then you have your social associates. So if you miss out some engagement with your no, so we always have a fear that we will be having some trouble in our relationship. So this is simply a fear. This is not a reality. But this fear makes you say yes and you refrain to say no. Then we often avoid offending people. Like you see, like some elder asked you to do something for themselves. Okay. Now you have some important engagement or you have important task to do. Okay. For that matter, if you are going to your tuition, it is 6 o'clock in the evening, and one of your neighbor asked you to drop a letter or some item to one of their relatives on way. But you see that reaching to your tuition place up to 6, you have only 10 minutes to go. And if ever you accept the request from your neighbor to drop that item to his relative, it will consume your 20 minutes. So in this way, there is a danger of losing around 20-30 minutes. So you'll be late to your tuition for 15 minutes, and you'll perhaps miss out some important portion of your tuition, which will be there for 20. I think which may be there for 15 minutes. So in this way, we need to, understand that if ever you said no to your elderly neighbor, okay, you will be able to join your session and will be able to learn everything which was taught in that particular session. So it is important to learn if if it is offending to them, if you can clearly tell them that you'll be late to your tuition if you accept this offer. You might say them that this you can do it later, or perhaps you can do it tomorrow by setting to go quite early from your logical timing. So in this way, there are ways to, buy time for yourself, and in this way, you won't be able to offend people. At the same time, you'll be able to do your work. So we don't mind this thing, but we keep in mind that we don't need to offend because he is my elder, he is cousin to my father, or he is something to me, and I cannot say no to him. Now you need to set boundaries, otherwise you will lose very vital things from us. Now, sometimes we have fears of losing opportunity, like in our workplaces, some senior offers you some work to you, and if you decline their offer, there is a possibility that you fear that you miss out some opportunity coming from that particular senior colleague. So in this way, we always have a fear of losing opportunity. Although how much real it is, we don't mind that. How real this fear is, we don't mind, but we always go along with our prior understanding or prior habit to say yes to everything. So this is what a kind of fear we always have. And then we are always having a pressure to please others. We cannot offend because being a student, being a child in your family, you cannot offend people around you. You cannot say no to your friend, you cannot say no to your relative. So we always want to please with work. Okay, and this is what a kind of pressure upon you, and you are unable to release that pressure out of you. Sometimes there is a possibility like sometimes people call you selfish because you say no to their offers or their requests. So in that case, we don't want to be labeled as selfish. So we always say yes to such situation to be avoiding calling ourselves selfish. Okay. See, we are a very social being, and we are trained to help, cooperate each and everyone around us. Okay? But to desire to help others when bring you some anxiety, bring you overburden, that is not good. Okay? So sometimes the desire to help others, that is also idea when we are in situation to say yes and say no to no. Then in the workplaces, in your peer, you want to appear valuable. You want to become indispensable. आपके बगैर कुछ नहीं हो सकता और मेरे बगैर कुछ नहीं हो सकता. We unnecessarily put ourselves in such a frame. मेरे बगैर कुछ नहीं हो सकता. I am the indispensable one. And in that frame, you are now pressurized. You are now burdened in such a way that you are crushed under your own burden, under your own frame. Okay? So, this is what the idea appearing valuable must be logical one. It shouldn't be illogical one, bringing you lots of trouble. And then you see, emotional intelligence is very important factor we must learn. Okay, so the person who is not properly trained with emotional intelligence, he will never be able to say no. He will never develop ability to say no. He will always accept things and put himself busy in situation and will invite anxiety. So emotional intelligence is very important factor in skill development. Now, there are certain myths. If you say no, so what will happen? Okay, there are certain myths that have been created or they are available around you. How the thing will be if you say no. Like if you say you reflect rude and aggressive, this is a myth. If you say no, it may be unkind, uncaring, or unselfish. Or if you say no, it may hurt or upset others. If you say no to somebody, they won't like us. Others' need are more important than mine. Okay? So these are the myths. Because if you say no to others politely, it isn't a rude. No. It's not a rude. It's not aggressive approach. You say no because you have set your boundary. If you say no, you feel it may be unkind to others, but your priority is also important. You know, saying no will hurt others or upset others because there is a possibility like they need you in certain situation because you are indispensable to them. But you are indispensable to yourself as well. What about that? So in this way, hurting other is not the case when you say no, because it may be properly, I mean, pass on to them like you are busy in real sense. Sometimes uh, I should always try and please other and be helpful. Enough. So if you say no, or if you say no, in that case, we feel that I should always try and please others. So no will bring you displeasure from others. This is what a kind of a myth. Then saying no over little things is small-minded and petty. Okay, saying no over little thing is a small-minded and petty. अगर से आपको if someone asks you to help them with some packing work in their house, it might consume your half an hour or 1 hour of your time in the evening. But if you say no to that, what will happen? Nothing. Because that particular 1 hour is important to you for your studies. Because you have your exam close by, or you have your crucial exam close by. So in this way, no is not a petty thing. That is what the idea we need to understand. No is not a petty thing. No is not a simple thing. No has a vital, idea around it because this is the, idea. No has weightage. If you say no, your personality will be reflected out of it. Now, since you simply can't say yes to everything, saying no politely is a great way to protect your time. Now, politeness is the important idea we need to understand. Please, kindly say no. You beg some time from them, or you have to say, I mean, no, very simply, with firmly, and protect your own time and prioritize what's important and what is essential to you. But at the same time, we need to maintain healthy relationship with your counterpart because you cannot lose them. Saying yes or no is not the only idea losing your relationship. It is your approach will define if you're losing your friend or if you're losing your counterpart. Then the ability to say no is very crucial one for personal and professional growth, as it allows individuals to focus on their own interests and enhances productivity and relationship. Now you see, like you are dedicated to your studies. Now you are doing your IAS preparation in New Delhi. You have already joined some very famous coaching and invested lots of money in that coaching. Okay, and obviously in that situation, every day is countable to you. Every minute is countable to you. You cannot lose your time. So in that case, you have to prioritize your own, needs. Okay, so this is the reason why if you want to grow in your career or in your professional life, it is important to prioritize your own, interest. Sometimes you have to protect your health. You have to look into your health over to others' requests and offerings to engage you in unwilling task for you. Now here we need to recognize the signals of our personal discomfort. Now, if you are stressed, if you are burnout, you are becoming frustrated with the situation around. You see that if you are a student, now you look your mark sheet, every semester mark sheet, and now introspect yourself. Now why you have scored average marks? Why you are not able to score some good, score in every subject? And then when you introspect, you will see that you are busy in very unwilling task. Nowadays, you people are very busy with the mobile gadgets. Now there are different, games are there which consume lots of your time, lots of your energy, and puts you in such a situation where from you are unable to go out of it. You don't, find it important to prioritize your own career, your own studies, and you go on, burn out with those gadgets and those mobile online gaming. So you see that we need to understand now these are discomforts. These are, developing your anxieties. These are burning you out completely. So, in a time, we need to set boundaries. How much time you have to be there on mobile game? 1 hour, couple of hours. Now you go to the expert and you will see that even expert would say hardly 1 hour engagement with game is enough. Over to that, or if you go extra, it will eat you. It will eat you in real sense. So this is the thing experts are saying, and if we see the majority of young guys, those who are engaged with mobile gadgets, okay, they are killing their lots of time and they are underperforming. Now, when you see that there are some serious repercussions of there, okay, if you say always yes to everything and you become engaged to such a situation where from you cannot go out. So in that case, we need to learn saying no very gracefully. Okay, so saying no is to do so without guilt or aggression. You don't feel guilty because you said no because you want to keep that particular time for your studies. You want to keep that particular time for your workplace assignment, or you want to keep that time for your family member because you need to, I mean, spend quality time with your family and friends. You cannot give that particular time to others, and in that way, if you do that, you will lose many things from your personal life as well. So this is the reason why we need to train ourselves, say no very gracefully, and there is no guilt in that because you have your own priorities. Because we don't say to everything. We accept many things from around our society. At the same time, we are having our personal boundaries. So there is no need to invite some extra burden upon you. Now, when you should say no, हमने कब बोलना चाहिए कि नहीं? Now, there is a situation and you feel uncomfortable because from morning when you get up till you go to your bed in the evening, late evening, entire day you are running and running and running, working and working, working for your family, working for your workplace, working from your neighbor, then your social responsibilities. So you are uncomfortable. So if it happens in a day or two, it's okay. But if it goes entire week, if it goes entire month, there is no space for yourself. In that case, you start becoming uncomfortable. Now, this is what a limitation, and here from you have to learn to say no. Now, now there is always a guilt feel. Now you do lots of work in your life. Your whole day is busy from morning till evening. Even then, some of the requests, some of the offerings you have already accepted with yes are remain unfulfilled. And in that case, you are always feeling guilty that you have some work to do for someone and you haven't done that. The week is passed by, a couple of weeks are passed by, month is passed by. The thing goes to be done in a week or two, and it is month time now, and you haven't done that. So in that way, you start developing guilt feeling for you. Okay, so this is the idea. If you have guilt feeling for yourself for nothing you have done, you have done nothing wrong in your life. In spite of that, you feel guilty out of everything around you. So this is the reason why you need to learn say no. Now we are always overloaded with work. So you are working in college, you have your teaching, at the same time you have work of developing study material, you have different work of committees, and at the same time someone asks you to do something and it may consume you a couple of days. So you see that in that case you are overburdened. Because as a teacher, you are not only working for those 6 hours, but to prepare your lectures or prepare your study material, even that work you bring to your home for a longer hour, you're busy with preparing your notes and study material. And you lost in that in such a way that you are unable to give quality time to your family member, even when you are in the same room. So this is what the thing are going with saying yes. You feel a request crosses personal boundaries. Now sometimes you see that if you say no, so in that case there is a possibility of some issues arising out of you and someone else. You are only saying yes to please someone else. And it is only the matter of pleasing without any productive thing or without any productivity. if that is the idea, we should say no. Now here, the person who is trained with emotional intelligence, he is the one can manage his time, he can manage his social relationship properly. He will be able to balance between yes and no. He will accept yes, which is within his boundaries, and he will say no to all those which are not within his limitation. So, what is it? Emotional intelligence? It is revolving around four important skills. First one is self-management. Okay, and here within this self-management, you are trained to manage your feelings and behavior. You are training yourself with emotional balance in a healthy way. Second skill is self-awareness. Now, in self-awareness, you recognize your own emotions and how they affect your thoughts and behavior. Third is social awareness. You have empathy. You always feel, helping others if they are in need, because this is what the thing we are trained from our childhood. So social awareness is very important. Social work is very important around you other than your own work. So it creates empathy. So you can understand the emotion, needs, and concern of people. Now somebody is sick around you, somebody is sick in your neighborhood. If you are unable to attend him or her, okay, being a neighbor, being a responsible, accountable neighbor, it will affect your self esteem. It may affect your image in society. So in that case, social awareness is important. Our cooperative nature is important. But that cooperative nature must not bring burden to me. Fourth skill under emotional intelligence is relationship management. Now, this is what dwelling between yes and no, dangling between yes and no. Which yeses to accept and which no's to accept. Now, this is what a balance you need to understand in your life. You are trained with EQ, where we are trained with emotional quotient. So in that case, you reduce your stress. In that case, your mental health is improved. You feel free. You can maintain your relationship. And you develop control on your own behavior. In that way, you say yes to the thing which is manageable to you, and you can say no to thing which is unmanageable to you. So, which are manageable and which are unmanageable, that you need to understand. And the person with emotional intelligence, he is the one can manage his yes and no very properly. Now, when we are overburdened, or we see that you are in already important serious studies, or you are in some crucial project work in your workplaces. So in that case, beforehand, you need to train yourself. And for that, you need to adopt some strategies. Okay, comfortable in uncomfortable situation, you need to focus upon your self-confidence, assertiveness, and you need to develop your communication skills. We English teacher always try to teach communicational skills. Now, communicational skill is not only to teach speaking English. Communicational skill is something more than teaching English. Okay, communicational skill is the thing which are doing today with the soft skill. The very course of soft skill will teach you the communicational skills. So here, the strategy you need to adopt is you need to begin somewhere. And say no. You have to initiate from somewhere, kahin se. And you need to communicate your decision very clearly. You should be able to say direct and straightforward. ऐसा घुमा फिरा के नहीं. Okay, you need to say like you are having prior engagement. You are busy with your study work, you have your exam close by, or you are already burdened with your own project work in your place work. You cannot take another one until you finish that. So we are multitasking, but multitasking in a day is not important. You can do multitasking in several minutes of time or several, days of your month, right? Then, when someone is asking for help from you, or someone is making you busy somewhere, taking your time out of your vital space. So in that case, you need to be grateful to him because he felt that you'll be the one who can do that work. So we must be able to say thank you very much for this offering. But at this moment, I am unable to help you out. Okay, so this expressing gratitude in one place or in the beginning, and then politely, saying no to the offer or saying no to that request, that is very important strategy. Now, you can buy time. You can say, okay, I'll look over there. I'll look over your offer and give me a day or two, and I'll see if I can do it. I say yes, or if I am not able to do that, unmanageable things are there, I'll say no. So beforehand, you have to clear your stand. So in that case, the person who is there with the offering will be in a position to learn you or take you. There is possibility that you say yes or no. So in that case, he can make another arrangement for himself. So you have to keep a space for other person. If you say in the beginning itself, he will not go around for seeking another help for himself. Okay, so in that case, you need to understand that if you say no, it won't affect much because there are someone else is there who can accomplish work for him. So in that case, you are not the only indispensable in these situations. You need to work upon your strategy. Then we need to be self-confident. Okay, when you say no, you need to be self-confident. We must learn this idea to say no very confidently and respectfully. Then opt for a short and simple approach while saying no. Now, if you go on giving long reasons why you are unable to do certain work, okay, so you are consuming someone else's time, or you are overreacting to the request, okay, and you are, creating disreputation for you, you know. So in this way, you are creating your confused identity or confused image for your counterpart. So in that case, it is very important if you want to say no, you have a brevity of answer. You have a brief answer why you are saying no. You say, I have a very crucial exam on Sunday. I am already busy with my project. I am already busy with my family program. I am already busy with my parent. Okay, I have already some work with my another friend. So in that case, you have to be very short and simple and straightforward while saying no. And while saying no, we are always respectful. It is always says prevention is better than cure. You know? So you need to avoid situation where you feel pressure to say yes. तो ऐसी situation को ही avoid कर दो. And then when there are things, people want to keep you busy somewhere and you are not aware that where and in what way you will be utilized. So in that case, before indulging into or before putting yourself into some situation, you need to know that particular work, the nature of that work. how much time will be killed, how much time will be consumed, how much of your energy will be consumed. If there is any monetary, investment is there, you have to look around, help from someone expert, and after realizing, understanding the situation, you can say yes or no to the thing. Now, why it is important to say no? Now, you always are trained to say yes, and now, until now, we have learned what are the repercussions if you accept yes many to yourself. So, we need to understand what will happen if you say no. Okay, so in that case, you will produce higher quality work. Like you see, you are working on a certain research paper. You are a research scholar doing a PhD work, and you are working on a particular paper. And if you store time for yourself, if you avoid extra engagement for you, in that case, you'll be able to focus on your particular research paper and you can do a quality work. If you're working in corporate sector, you're working in some important project, if you come out well, you will be known as a proper, a skilled, employee in your, field. So, to create identity for yourself is important, and for that you need to keep lots of time for yourself to do some quality work. Another important thing is to say no is that you can boost your career performance. You know, if you keep more time for yourself, if you invite some less burden from external sources, in that case you will boost your career performance and you'll be advancing toward successful path of your career. Then you can improve your mental well-being. You need to be very sane. Overburdened person behave, very awkwardly because he is busy in such a way that he lost his normal life, routine life. So to be normal is important, and for that you need to keep yourself free lots of time. Then if you say no to unwanted yes, in that case, you help yourself preventing from burnout, fatigue, and you'll be fresh next day with a next project with all your stored energy. Now, when we work in a social sphere, or when we are a student and a college going one, or we are working somewhere, so there are some common situations come around us. Okay, so this situation where you are now take decision if say yes or no. Now there is always a request for money. Now one of your friend requesting money from you. Okay, so you need to understand how much money you have. If you can spend some of them giving hand loan to your friend, but do you believe that you will get it in time? Okay, or if your friend having good record of returning your money. So in that case, you see, you need to understand the value of saying no. Okay, so in case of giving loan, help, monetary help to someone in need is always good. It's a social, behavior. But your earned money, if it is, I mean, uh, with someone for a longer time, so that is not good for your economic health. Okay, then saying no at workplace to your boss or colleague with respect to your boundaries. Now, your boss has already given one work, and your boss want to give you another work before you finish the prior work, previous one. So in that way, you need to negotiate. You need to negotiate things with your superior. Okay? You need to tell him your boundaries in such a way that he must be convinced. Okay? So you must be able to develop this convincing ability about your situation. Then saying no to invitations and unwanted engagement when you are yourself buried with your own priority. Now you see, nowadays, lots of social engagements are there. Every day you have been invited to birthday parties, engagements, then retirement parties, success parties. So there are a number of parties are increased, and you are always the one who are invited. So we need to set boundaries, because if you join them in a party, you are spending money. So you need to look out. You need to look how much money you earn, how much money you can spend other than your need. Okay, so in that case, it's only accept going out entire month. So in a month, if you say you visited some 10 social gathering, okay, and you spend some 10-15,000 only for buying gifts, this is not done, because you have to store your money. You have to, you have to reserve your money for your own career, your own family development. So you need to understand how much important is to go to each and every, where you can, say no, where you can seek some alternative, idea to represent yourself. Okay, sometimes you can send a message, a congratulation message. Sometimes you can send a good email to the fellow, representing yourself. That message also can represent yourself, saying or giving apologies, or giving your reason why you are not there. So in this way, we don't need to, go everywhere around and kill your time, your money, and energy. Sometimes we are in such a situation, you need to say no to even your family member, because you have your own work. It is already overburdened. Some closing dates are there, deadlines are there, and in that case, if someone wants you to go out for dinner, so in that case, you must be able to say no and buy time from your family member and friend. Now, saying no to children is also important, because children pestering you for their demands. So, how much demand you need fulfilling each and every demand of your children, they'll become greedy, and they'll develop that habit that whatever they want, it is given. So, in that case, they won't be able to develop this social ability of accepting. So if you start rejecting your children for something, so they will learn that rejection is always there, and they have to take it in a healthy way, in a proper way, without affecting their own mind. Then there are attention seeking people around us. We need to understand that. Some people are there, they always want to seek attention from you, and they want to engage you always with this or that idea. So we need to understand them, and you need to recognize them with saying no to them. And then there is one very important idea. It's not always others are wrong. There is possibility that we are also having on wrong side. Like we are indulged in some bad habits. Some people are smokers, some people are gamers. We are also busy in online games. You know? So there are many bad habits are around us. around us and we are unable to come out of it. It's affecting our personal life. It's affecting our, you say, career life. So in that way, you need to say no to certain habits you indulge in. So to be truthful to oneself is very important, and to say no even to myself in such situation when it becomes very difficult for me to stand in society. Now, this is very important to. Now, this very slide is important to college going children, boys and girls. Now, you see that you are always surrounded with your friends, and friends are always trying to extract money from you. Now, in the previous slide, we learned about how people around you taking loan from you. But extraction is something. Like two, three friends are coming together, if they found you have always full with your pocket, so they will drag you to the canteen, they will drag you to some close by restaurant, and they will always try to, extract you for their own stomachs. So in that case, you must be able to recognize such situation, how your peers are extracting money from you very subtly, okay, giving name to the friendship. But most of the time, you only empty your pocket, they don't. Okay, so if you have five friends, so at least five friends 5 days are there, each and every one to pay for a coffee or tea. But in a 5 days, 4 days you are the one who is paying out of your own pocket. So in that case, it is that they are extracting money from you. Then there is a situation like you are under bullied. You are bullied by your friends or senior colleagues. So in that situation, you need to understand the situation for you is difficult and you should refrain from those peers. You are always pressured to go out. We enjoy our friends' life, we enjoy our college life, and most of the time we see that students are touring to some places to pass their time, to enjoy their time. But you see, it should not come at the cost of your studies, at the cost of your career. So when these outings are there, when you need to prioritize your studies, you must be able to say no. Now there are very distracting activities are happened around you. Some children are there, some boys are there, or some girls are there, those who have always unserious, approach in their life. And they always keep other friends engaged with their activities, which kill their vital time. So we need to realize, we need to understand, we need to recognize such distracting activities around us. We need to say no to the misadventure. Now there is a road race. Now you are on bike. You see some children, some boys are coming on bike, motorbike in colleges, and they are running their bike from one end to the another end recklessly. So reckless biking, reckless car is always dangerous. We have heard many accidents happen with the road rage. Okay. Now you go on to trips with your friend. You go to some, some water bodies around city, and you tempted to swim or you tempted to take bath in that pool. But you see that you are unaware the difficulties you can face there, right? You don't know swimming, and yet you enter the water. So this is not the situation for you if you don't know swimming. Now dangers are there. We always heard how many drowning cases are happening around city, and most of the time children go partying there, and only for merrymaking enjoyment they enter the pool and they stuck there. They don't know how to swim. They don't know how to come out. And Mogaon Jilpi is badly known place where most of the city young men go for partying, And every year, many incidences occurred how young promising men are drowned in a very tragic situation. We need to say no to unfamiliar company. Many a time our peer is always expanded with new friends, and these new friends are unknown to you. You are unknown to their approach, you are unknown to their past life, you are unknown to their behavior. So you need to avoid unfamiliar company because they may drag you to difficulties, they may drag you to some criminal activity. Okay, many young boys are indulged in some crime, in theft, in gundagardi. So in that case, you may also land in trouble. So you need to say no to such unfamiliar company. Now you see that there are some children who are troublemaker. They are always center at the trouble. उनके इर्द गिर्द झगड़े बहुत होते हैं. Where are they? There is always a conflict. There is always a brawl. So you need to avoid such company. Otherwise, you will be landing in a trouble. Now this is very important for girls because when you, moving around in a peer, there are always possibilities, some predators are there who may exploit you sexually. So in that case, from the beginning, you need to understand in which company you are there. If your, girlfriends also, if they are not in bad company, or if new introduced friends are not predators. So understanding your friends is important, understanding their approach is important, at what time they want you to go out and why they want you to go out with them. So you need to, being a girl, you are always surrounded with possible dangers, and for that you need to learn say no. This no is tool to you. If you are able to say no very prominently, politely, and effectively, you save yourself from from all the possible troubles coming to you. Now I am going close to my, mm, uh, I mean, my lecture. Before that, I would like to dwell upon some important Buddhist teaching around saying no. In Buddhism, there is a middle path. Now, so when we learn a Jain Buddhism, Thich Nhat Hanh is a living master. Recently, he occurred with his demise, but he is known for his effective teaching around the world and his mindfulness teaching. It helps us, develop a balanced mind. And in Jain Buddhism, there is a teaching around no as well. So, according to Jain Buddhism, saying no is appropriate when it aligns with compassion and well-being. Now, with your yes and no, it should be associated with compassion and well-being. If your no is saving something, so your no is effective. And if your yes is inviting some trouble, so that yes is not good. Okay, now in the previous slide, we have just seen how college year life is inviting troubles to young men and girls. So effective yes or effective no could have bring, some comfort to them or save themselves from difficulties. Right? So in that case, we need to understand how compassion is to be developed within us. For that, you need to practice mindfulness, and mindfulness will develop compassion and our compassion for others. Now, when we talk about compassion, compassion is not for ourselves, but compassion is extended to every living being around us, and particularly when it prevents harm and promotes self-reliance. So when you say no, if it prevents harm, so it is always good, and it promotes self-reliance, because you don't want to take extra burden, extra help from others, and you want to do things of your own. Saying no can be crucial to protect one's own energy and well being, because you need to keep your energy. You want to stay healthy, you just want to stay longer, you want to live 100 and more years. Biologically, we can live more than 300 years, but we die prematurely in 60s and 70s. Why? Because through the life, we burdened ourselves in such a way that we invited very health issues, many health issues. So Buddhism says you need to save your own energy, and with many laws, you can keep yourself safe. It can also be a way to protect others from potentially harmful situations, like supporting addiction or dependency. Previously we discussed how, college-going children indulge in smoking or some gutkhas. Okay, but if you say no, if you protect yourself from indulging into all those habits, you will be protecting yourself. I can tell you many of my friends who were smokers or who were habitual gutka chewers. Now, some of them are suffering from cancer. Within few years, they got repercussion. We always tries to dissuade them, but they were, habitual of those consumption is in such a way that they were not able to refrain themselves in a time. Though they, became a teetotaler, but even then, we see that their previous life habit of chewing gutka now becoming a cause for cancer to them. I need to tell one important story of one of my senior. He was my super senior in hostel, and he became, I don't want to take his name, but he was a very great name in the field of Marathi literature. And he was a professor in one senior college. So, on one hand, he was a voracious reader. So, obviously, his health was on trial because of his longer hour reading, longer hour writing. He was a creative writer, he was a critic, and then he was also busy with Sahitya Sangh in Marathi. So he was always busy with some annual journal, some magazine. He was also invited by some colleges. Then he was also invited with some social organization. So I saw him, he was not having a life. From morning till evening, before until he go to his bed, he was always, working for others and for himself. He was always reading either, or he was always writing something, or he was going for lecturing, or he was busy with some social activities. So you see that he was not even 50 when he collapses at his college gate. He was, I mean, commuting from one place to another place to his college around 20-30 kilometers, and he was not doing well for some time, but he ignored his health. He was not able to recognize that he is extra burden causing ill health to him, and some heart failure is going to be happen, but he was not aware of all that. So one day he normally went to his college, and he was on his step one only, and he collapses. And when he was rushed to hospital, he was brought dead. So you see that nowadays, when we work in a social sphere, we invited lots of burden to us, lots of stresses to us, and we, in the course of our work, we are not aware that we are losing our health. We are, putting ourselves in a dangerous situation. We don't give ourselves time to know ourselves. We don't, to know yourself if you are having some trouble or not. Then, as per Buddhism, say no to requests that could foster dependency is a compassionate act. Now here you see that if you always say yes to someone, so they are always dependable on you. Okay? So in that case, you need to curb this idea. You need to become yourself independent and you need to make others independent. So if you're able to do that, this is what a kind of a compassionate act. When you say no, it needed to help cultivate greater awareness of one's own needs and boundaries, and also of the needs and boundaries of others. Now here, the cultivation of awareness is important. Jain Buddhism is always revolving around the idea, mindfulness and awareness. So when you are standing, you need to aware. When you are sitting, you need to aware. You are eating, you need to aware. Whatever you are doing, you need to be aware of the situation. You need to do things mindfully. So if you became mindful with the training, in that case, you will be able to set boundaries for yourself, and you will be able to set boundaries for others, and then there will be no interference will happen. Then Buddha's teachings emphasize the importance of focusing on what truly matters. Now, what is important, you have to indulge in that. The things which are not important, you need not indulge, kill your time, because that is not important to you either or for your society. So, we need to understand what is important, what is the idea, or what is the idea where you need to put your interest. Then saying no is a way to respect personal boundaries and time, allowing for self-care, engaging in mindfulness activities that are meaningful. Now, self-care,
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
yes, madam. I'm
Yes.
on last slide. Huh?
Okay. Yeah. It is all
This is last slide.
almost 11:30. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So, self-care is important. Now, I have just before I told the story of one of my friends who lost his life. Self-care is important because you need to stay longer, healthier. You see that if you invited some health issues, what is the use of earning lots of money? You are earning a package of 30 lakh, 50 lakh, and annually you are spending 30, 50 lakh on your health alone. So what is the use of your earning? So the story of the mouse is very important, who is from rural area. He was happy being a rural, because in city he found in a trouble. So in this way, urban life, if we are in, we need to understand our limitations. We cannot overburden ourselves to invite health issues. So self-care is very important. Health-care is very important. And mindfulness activities can train us, okay, can train us balancing our time between yes and no. Now, to prepare my lecture on saying no effectively with gracefully, I have gone through few of books. The list is already given on my screen. So those who are interested in, going through the techniques, different skill around saying no gracefully without having any guilt. So these are the books you can refer, and whatever I have discussed today is only out of my own experience. I have gone through few books already. I am referring here, and I have borrowed some techniques to share with you in my own way. I hope that whatever I have discussed in my lecture today will be helpful to you, and you'll be able to learn this very skill of saying no in your career, in your social sphere, so that you can keep yourself healthy, happier, and always smiling. Before I close my lecture, I am taking this opportunity to thank Minakshi Madam in particular, Dr. Usha Madam in particular, and all the organizing colleges, all the learning teachers in my fraternity of English involved in this organizing of lecture. Thank you, student, for patient listening. And here for few minutes, I'll deal with some question and we'll be extending this session with dialogue. Thank you very much. Over to Meenakshi ma'am.
Yes, sir. Uh, Sir, can you please stop your screen sharing?
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Yes. Dear participants, if you have any queries, the forum is open for discussion. So please unmute your device and you can put on the questions. Over to Snehal, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I think there is no question, so shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am. You.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That was truly an enlightening session. Thank you so much for shedding light on the topic, the art of saying no without guilt. I'm sure our participants have gained valuable insights and practical techniques that they can start implementing immediately. Let's proceed. Well, today we have learned about the importance of understanding our priorities, shifting our mindset around saying no, and mastering the art of delivery with clarity and respect. The examples from Aesop's fables, routine life experiences, Buddhist teachings, and the strategies how to tactfully avoid the unwanted situation shared by user are incredibly helpful in understanding how to navigate those tricky situations with confidence and without lingering feeling of guilt. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
Let's move towards the formal vote of thanks of today's session. First and foremost, a big thank you to our esteemed resource person, Professor Sudesh Bhote sir, who has been a source of knowledge, guidance, and inspiration. Sir's expertise in soft skill and his ability to engage us has undoubtedly made this course both enjoyable and beneficial. Your contribution have truly made a difference in shaping our understanding of essential life and professional skills, sir. I would also like to extend our gratitude to the cluster colleges organizers and the coordinators of this course who work tirelessly behind the scene to ensure that everything runs smoothly from scheduling session to managing technical aspects. Your efforts are keys in ensuring a seamless learning experience. Dear students, thank you for your participation during this session. As we continue our imprint journey tomorrow on day 8, we will be diving into another essential soft skill, that is harnessing the power of gratitude by Dr. Dipti Jain. So, thank you once again for being with us. See you tomorrow at the same time with the more zeal and excitement. Till then, have a nice time. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
to
sir.
everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your valuable time. Really, it was a very knowledgeable session today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Was all the
Thank you.
slides moving?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it
sir. It's,
was.
Okay, okay. I did it manually at every slide.
yes, sir.
Okay.